Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out for a long time, and while a lot of people love returning to games like this, sometimes it takes a little bit of a reminder as to why. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 overlooked mechanics in GTA 5 that'll get you playing again. Starting with number 10, flying up so high that the parachute doesn't work. This one was actually just recently discovered, but it's actually possible to fly up so high in GTA 5 you can't even use a parachute. The thing is, you do have to fly really high to do it, much further than where a plane would even normally stall out. The credit for finding this goes to Reddit user Nuclear Jesus Man, who managed to fly up into the digital stratosphere using the Torador boost glitch. And I'm not sure how possible this is to do still, but I managed to pull it off using a jet fighter in story mode, and it was not easy. When Trevor bails out of the vehicle, the parachute simply wouldn't work at all. In fact, I may have gotten up so high that I got stuck on an invisible ceiling or something. So basically, if you get up high enough, things start to get very weird in GTA 5, and there's some fun stuff you can do up there. Most of it involves falling to your death. At number 9, you can recreate Lemmings in GTA 5. In Los Santos, there's a broken spot on the highway that's just perfect for causing chaos. I've seen a lot of people find ways to screw around here, but this method's probably my favorite, both for being ridiculous and not actually that hard to do. All you have to do is find this spot, park a truck in the way of traffic so that cars will just go careening off the ledge. Everybody's heard that old myth where lemmings would just run off a cliff to their deaths, right? That's pretty much the major inspiration for the 1991 classic game Lemmings, which was made by DMA Design before it became Rockstar Games. So it's only appropriate to create a Lemmings scenario in a GTA game, it's a callback to the developer's history. Also, it's hilarious. You don't even need to block off the entire road for this to work. As long as you get the truck positioned at the correct angle, cars will just try to get around it by driving off the ledge endlessly. Credit for this trick goes to Illustrious Skirt 63, and that's a fun little trick. And number 8, you can flip a car with a jet, which in of itself sounds completely hilarious, but you can do some pretty amazing stuff with a jet in these games. One of the most impressively difficult tricks is to flip a car with the nose of your plane, though. It takes some real finesse, and most likely you'll end up damaging your plane rather than successfully pulling it off, but it's just one of those fun little trick things that makes screwing around in GTA games so much fun. If you really want to take this thing to the next level, try to repeat this incredible trick pulled off by CJ Productions, who manages to flip a car and then shoot it while it's still in the air. It's a little beyond what I'm capable of doing, but you can flip a car with a little practice and maybe even get as good as CJ Productions shooting it out of the air. Just a little target practice. At number 7, you can lure cops to go flying off ledges. One of the more entertaining aspects about police chases in GTA games is how overzealous the cops can actually get. They'll come flying at you from every angle, completely indifferent to their own lives, not caring about injury or death. All they want to do is take you down. Sometimes that can make getting chased a painful experience, but there's other times where you can use their suicidal nature against them. Like this one specific spot in southeastern Los Santos near the Darnell Brothers' large special cargo warehouse. If you're playing online, there's a pretty steep ramp that exits out onto a road, and if you go fast enough, more likely than not, you'll end up flying into the highway. But if you're being chased and you're smart, you can easily just use it to turn the tables. Accelerate up the ramp, hit the brakes at the apex to stop yourself, and watch as the police chasing you go sailing majestically into the air before crashing into the traffic below. This trick we gotta credit Chris95RX7500, who really nailed the whole thing in a video they posted on Reddit. The higher the wanted rating, the better it is for this one, and while there's plenty of other spots you can bait the police into crashing, this is probably one of the easiest to pull off and one of the most satisfying as well. And number 6, tricking trucks into driving into gas stations. Another easy and fun way to mess around with NPCs is, well, like police, if you manage to make a pedestrian mad enough, they'll do just about anything to get you, even if it leads to their own death. For this one, all you need is a dirt bike and a nearby gas station. You just wait for a truck or a large vehicle to pass by, and you kick them on the side. Now, some cars might just panic and run away, but it seems like truck drivers in particular can get pretty vindictive, so they're more likely to chase you. So just make your escape by weaving between the gas station pumps and then look behind. Almost always the offending driver will end up crashing headfirst into the whole structure, and it'll cause a huge gas explosion. Credit for this fun way to ruin an NPC's day goes to Reddit user Ration to Dope. It's simple, but it's really entertaining. Obviously, it's a really bizarre sight, not something that anyone would do in real life, but that's part of the allure of the game, is it not? At number 5, find the dry spot underwater. Now, GTA 5 is a massive game, so eventually you run into some glitches. Most of the time, they're just annoying, but on a few rare occasions, you can find some really funny stuff out there, like this one really specific spot underwater that is dry. Well, it's more like a place where there's no water effects, so if you manage to get to it, then you'll be able to stand on the ground, just like if you were on dry land. You can even shoot your gun while you're down there. You can find this spot in the canals beside Vespucci Beach, and to get to it requires a lot of squirming around and proper positioning, but it's this weird little thing that if you manage to hunt it down, it is a fun thing to play around with. As usual, there's no way we would have ever seen this. We certainly wouldn't have been able to find it without giving credit to the person who actually discovered it, a Reddit user by the name of Nuclear Jesus Man, who we've already mentioned once in this list already. At number 4, did you know that you can kidnap people with the bulldozer? Yeah, the bulldozer in GTA 5 is kind of rare and hard to find, but it's one of the best vehicles out there to pick up if you want to cause a little senseless chaos. One of the more entertaining things about it is that the scoop actually works, and you can use it to grab pedestrians off the street and kidnap them, for lack of a better word. So, you know, the thing on the front of the bulldozer, you can ride right up to a person, scoop them up, and take them wherever you want. Take them on a joyride, collect as many people as you can, take the dozer off the side of a car park or off a cliff, just do whatever you want. The fact that thing actually works, you can use it to grab NPCs and flip cars even, makes it an absolutely wonderful tool for causing chaos, even if it's a little slow to get around.
That was entirely your fault!
For some reason, that makes it a little more satisfying, though. Like, you're this big lumbering thing that can't be stopped, and you're just gonna do whatever you want, and nobody's gonna stop it. And number 3, checking out the extreme car deformation. One of the trickier things you can accomplish in this game is to totally wreck your car and not have it explode. Like most GTA games before it, cars really want to blow up in GTA 5. Most of the time, you will only get to see a fraction of the damage a car can really take before it catches fire and explodes in this game. There are a few ways around that, though. For one, proper application of the dump truck can really flatten a car, even if the danger of an explosion is pretty high with these things. Another, even more spectacular way to smash up a car is to have it get hit by a train. As shared by Addicted to Tornadoes, the trick here is to not get your car directly hit by the train, but instead wedge it between the train tracks and a warning sign pole next to the tracks, far enough out that your character won't actually get hit by the train impact. That way you can really smash up a car without hitting the engine and risking an explosion. There's probably a lot of better ways to absolutely total a car in this game, but this is the best one I've managed to find. And number 2, causing chaos with a tow truck. The tow truck has a tried and true method of really screwing around in GTA 5. It's something that's been with the game basically since the beginning, and at least for me, it never stops being fun. All you have to do is hook a car and start swinging. There's a lot of different variables out there, but one method described by Onion Steak is to use Franklin's drift ability to perform a sharp turn, which can really send the hauled vehicle swinging. Of course, you can always hook up a bunch of tow trucks together as well. Just drive onto a highway and see the mess unfold. As you've probably noticed by now from watching this video, drivers in GTA 5 don't really care so much about self-preservation, so their first instinct when given an obstacle is just plow right into it. And with that many cars swinging around on the road, you're gonna see some sparks fly. And finally, at number 1, it's the gate launch glitch. This is a classic one, but it's so much fun to do once you get the hang of it. This trick works a lot like the swing set glitch from GTA 4, but instead of crashing into a kiddie park, you have to rub your car up against one of the moving gates from the Richmond neighborhood of Los Santos. Most of them do the trick, but some do it better than others. It takes a little more finesse to get this to work in comparison to the swing set glitch, but once you get the hang of it, the whole thing is just easy and simple. The important thing is to just keep rubbing your car car up against the gate, and eventually it'll launch into the air, sometimes a few yards, sometimes for what looks like miles. It's a glitch players discovered almost right when the game came out, but it's such a good one that it deserves a spot on this list. It's just fun as hell, even now, 9 years after the game originally came out. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.